Hello, my great and wonderful people. How una day today? I hope all of una day well. Today we get this video when you say one quickly leave make you watch. This video na proactive video, yes, which is na video when you say it dey send a sound warning ahead of waiting one happen very soon. And this issue it dey very serious. I believe say majority of us fit still remember wetin happen last year. Not be only last year this incident don happen when e be say this erosion dey destroy everywhere they go for inside this nation Nigeria. And when that incident happen, the federal government of Nigeria come outside to allocate that error to so many issues, right? Later, we all find out say something happened when it be said that they call this lagdo dam or something like that for Cameroon. When it be say if the Cameroonian government open, now it they cause all the wahala when it be say with the experience for Nigeria. Although the federal government of Nigeria not agree with them, right? Now, they equally make us understand, say anytime when it be say the Cameroonian government want open that dam, that they send letter to the federal government of Nigeria to give us a notice to say, may we do things when it be say we will avoid those danger of lives and properties of Nigeria. Now, as we talk now, they don't send another letter come now to the federal government of Nigeria. For federal government of Nigeria to build a dam when it be say yes, it will avoid those errors. All of them now, they keep silent. We get this interview this morning for Arise News when EBC they review the details of this letter and the damages when EBC they ahead of every Nigerians as we talk now when EBC the federal government of Nigeria not do anything about until it happen again. I want make una pay attention to this interview where EBC Rufai Oseni and so many other Arise News journalists to break everything down in details to every Nigerians for all of us to know wetin will happen to us very soon. This one is something we basically will not feel avoid. Oh yeah, watch, I'll come back for more.
The government of Cameroon has notified the federal government of its plan to open the Lagdo Dam so as to reduce the level of water caused by the persistent rain in Cameroon. The notification was sent to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, through a letter signed by Umar Salisu, the ministry's Director of African Affairs in Cameroon. The alert issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on August 21 said the Cameroonian government plans to open the floodgates of the Lagdo Dam on the Benue River in days ahead. According to NEMA, excess water released in Cameroon from the Lagdo Dam caused heavy flooding in 13 states in 2022. Kay, your take on this. I'm sure when you see a headline like this, there's a bit of shivering and, oh my goodness, not again. Do you think we're better prepared this time?
Well, this is a case of sweet and sour for me. Sweet that the notification, the alert, is going out now. It is always good when you hear that there's an alert, that there's going to be a problem, because people need to be aware and they need to prepare for it. So that is sweet. But the sour part of it is, I am not sure that we have made the adequate preparation for all that is required to make us ready for when Lagdo Dam is opened by the Cameroonian authorities. And I will definitely want to say commendation to Lagos State Government. Mr. Osoni, who is in charge of the emergency services, he said that they're prepared. The 144 units of facilities are prepared to accommodate 5,000 IDPs.
All right, my people, I beg, no verse, we just need to cut this video, although we'll bring and come back shortly. We want to try to address issue. You hear waiting the Lagos State government, they talk about, that they prepared facility to accommodate IDP, which is eternally displaced persons. Not be say that they prepare waiting will prevent them to be displaced from their own ancestral land. No. That they put measure in place to make sure say they accommodate homeless people. The people when it be say this flood wants to destroy their own properties, their own livelihood. Even the one when it be say the flood will kill remain. Not be the one will be say they alive, not be they will put for that facility. Instead to do what they right, that they say that they prepare for IDP camp, just to understand the kind of backward thinking of our own politician or government parastatals. I believe so you don't hear now. Sorry. Oh yeah, listen, we still get a long way to go for this video. Rufai never talk now. I bet pay attention.
That is good. But is 5,000 enough when this kind of problem, if it affects a place like Lekki, for example, I'm not sure how far that water will come from Cameroon, but if it affects a place like Lekki alone, 5,000 facility for IDP is definitely not going to cut it. It's not going to be enough. We can say kudos to Lagos State government because they're saying that they're clearing canals and they're clearing facilities and they're creating environmental guards within local authorities in Lagos. The governor is pushing, and the emergency services in Lagos, they are pushing to make sure that they prepare. But is that preparation going deep enough? Is there enough investment going into it? And is the publicity that is required enough notice given to the people to let them know? And some of them, because it's not enough for you to just say to Nigerians who live in Lekki axis, for example, around Jakonde area and other areas that are prone to flood. It's not enough to tell them, move to the upper part of the land where there is not going to be. Move to where? Who is providing the accommodation for them? Who is moving them into a place where they will not have to go through the flooding? Yes, all of that are not being done, and there is a need. So I'm calling on Governor Sanwo-Olu that put in more investment to make sure that the good work you have started in terms of making sure there is an early warning and that there is money being put into preparation for IDPs, there's got to be more. 5,000 won't cut it. They need to do a lot more than that. Let's talk about Benue, which is another state that is likely to be affected by this situation. The governor of Benue State, Governor Ali, he said, yes, that they are making preparation, but talk is cheap, Mr. Governor. Talk is very cheap. You have to do more than just make preparation. Make sure that you're dredging all the canals around your area in the state and making sure that you put in money to support the people. Then talk about Delta State. Delta State says they're also trying, but it's not enough to just try. There's got to be a case of you have got enough notice on this particular matter, so there should not be one single person. And we wouldn't know until the day it happens to see how well you have prepared for this. So that preparation has got to be really intense. It's got to be profound. It's got to be thought through. And there's got to be cash backing it to make sure that we don't have any one person losing their home or losing their property or losing their livelihood as a result of it. Finally, on this particular matter, my call will be to the federal government of Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have to support NEMA to make sure that whatever happens, there is enough fund to ensure the dredging of River Niger and River Benue. Not any single state governor can do that because the newer act means that it says that the federal government only will be the one with the right to dredge River Niger and to dredge River Benue. So for the sake of human lives and property, for the sake of Nigerians that you have taken the oath to protect, for their sake, please, Mr. President, make sure the dredging is done and it is done on time and consistently checked before this lagdo dam is open.
Thank you. Rufai.
So, like I was saying before, like we go for retreat from here to Kutu-Wenji, if we don't take responsibility, our problem remains the same. The fact that we're talking about this lagdo dam debacle is an indication of the lack of seriousness on the part of government. And it's not only this government, too. Other governments in Nigeria. Other government dating back to 1982, when Cameroon finished this lagdo dam close to Garoua. And the plan then was, we have to build our own dam here, so that when they release, we have a reservoir. The reservoir was supposed to aid us. We could have produced electricity from there. But you can see how the failing of government destroys the country. We could have added more megawatts of electricity. We could have gotten close to 20,000 tons of fish if we have built it. We could have had more than enough water for irrigation. But we missed all these opportunities because till date, we have not built a dam. So what happens every year? When they open, we get flooded here, we lose livelihood, we lose everything. We impoverish people that are poor already. And what happens? Like our former minister came out to say, they will come and justify now that, Bayelsa State was not as affected as other states with the flood. So why is Bayelsa State complaining too much? Then they claim they released humanitarian palliative for the people. Then people do not get anything. Then between Benue and Kogi is cut off from Abuja that we can't take fuel into Abuja. Then we continue the cycle of our madness in this country. That's what we do. So we know the solution to this Lagdo Dam debacle, which is me building another dam here. But since 1982, they've not been able to solve the problem. So you can ask why I say it's not by going to retreat. We can go to retreat from here to Kutuwenji. But nothing will happen except we take responsibility. The question is, when are we going to take responsibilities? In 2012, there was a newspaper article that the government official did say that they were calling on the government to build a dam. It's now over 11 years. Nothing has been built. So we keep impoverishing the lives of people. And do you know how debilitating it is for people to live in IDP camps? As when Mr. K was saying, a state of IDP, it's a sorry state.
Very.
I remember going to one in Ugeli many years ago when Shell went to make a donation. Yeah, Mr. Mutiu Sumonu was still the chief of Shell in Nigeria.
Yeah, country director then.
They went to make a donation there. That was the first-hand experience of the pain and the penury a lot of people were going through. And guess what? People were still racketeering in those camps. So do we want to take our people through all of this pain again because we can't build a dam? But yet we are losing money to crude oil theft. Billions are being stolen every day in this country. All sorts is going on. But we can't just build a dam that will also benefit us economically. We are talking about blue economy. Do you know this dam will add to our blue economy revenue? Because you have more fish, you have more water for irrigation, you can even produce power. Because blue economy even correlates with power. Is it not from waters and dam you get to be able to power your power plants? So when we don't have a thinking nation, we have a retrogressive nation. When we have a thinking nation, we have a forward-looking nation. The Japanese man will say, "Yoi shina, yoi kangai." Good thinking, good products. And like I always say, if your yoi is not shinai, it can't be kangaing. If you don't think well, you can't get good products out. The solution to Lagdo Dam issue had been known since 1982. When are we going to build the dam? In last year's budget now, as we're going, they put a provision for rehabilitation for people that suffered the effect of the dam. Nothing to show for it. So please, 1, build a dam. 2, create buffers. 3, let our social planning, our city planning be better. And 4, look at also the channelization of our waterways. Pure and simple, we do well. We have the capacity to. Nigeria is a blessed nation.
Indeed.
Yeah, we have the capacity to do this. And as you can see on screen, you can see the letter from the Cameroonian official. Now, this letter and alerts that Cameroon gives to Nigeria before it opens its dam is following a memorandum of understanding between the two countries after the devastating effects of the 2012 flooding following the opening of the dams, after which Cameroon and Nigeria entered into an agreement that before they open a dam, they would issue an early warning to enable Nigeria put proactive measures in place to prevent the destruction of lives and properties. Every year, Cameroon commits to their own bargain of the MOU. However, we have seen by evidence, as we saw even last year, that the Nigerian government is inadequately prepared despite the warning that is given. So just to mention that it has to happen because Cameroon has to offload its own excess water in order to manage its excess rainfall. However, when they issue this warning, the benefit of that to Nigeria is that we ought to be able to avoid a repeat of what happened in 2012, which was about 11 years ago. Last year, we saw a devastating effect of the opening of the dams, and we saw a number of states affected. Millions or perhaps billions of naira lost in terms of property and lives, which are invaluable as well, lost. We bemoan that fact. However, here we are again in 2023. This early announcement has been issued again. And like I asked Kay earlier, are we better prepared than we are last year? Rufai has already talked about a key area, which we had said after the 2012 devastation Nigeria would do, which was to build the Dasin Hausa Dam in Fufore local government area of Adamawa State. Since then, despite Nigeria's commitment, which is supposed to be about 2 times or 3 times the size of the Lagdo Dam, hence no reason at all for us to experience a flood when Cameroon opens its dam. I want you to understand the extent of what leadership and a lack of action will do for the people. So for everyone who lost lives and property last year during the flood, it means that it was an avoidable disaster. Unfortunately, what often happens is that we are often reactionary. The things happen, the government releases statements, we put in a few measures, we rely on international partners to come to our aid, build IDP camps, give people pittances in terms of food and water, and we make headlines out of it. The following year, the same thing happens again because leaders fail to do the right thing. Why hasn't this dam been built since 2012, despite Nigeria's commitment to doing this? We have money to expand the list of ministers in Nigeria. We have 70 billion naira to renovate the National Assembly for hundreds of lawmakers. Yet, we have thousands of people's lives displaced because we do not commit to building this dam. Yes, it is capital intensive. However, as already been illustrated, the benefits of it is enough, if well positioned, to attract investment because there should be a return on investment in the building of the dam. It's not just going to protect the people, it's going to also be an opportunity for revenue. So the brand new Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation has his work cut out for him. That's Professor Joseph Youssef, a man whom we had spoken about quite highly in terms of his experience in order to manage the situation, in addition to, of course, NEMA and the other ministries who are involved in this. Well, here, unfortunately, we cannot build a dam in the next few weeks or months. So we had to now find ways to again react to this news. I hope and I pray that the subnationals will put in place measures to ensure that the impact is as minimal as possible, because there will be impact, unfortunately, but hopefully it will be as minimal as possible.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say you don't hear everything yourself. We don't get much to ask to this very one. The only question when we say we want to ask the federal government of Nigeria and every politicians of this nation, how long una will continue to toy with lives when it be say una no say una no go fit make a single hair for any human being head? How long una would they gamble with our lives? Now lives now it would they talk about so. Know how when it be say if they eventually release this dam for Cameroon, when it be say it no will destroy lives and properties. All of that they talk about preventive measure, how they want to build IDP camp, but they not put their heads together to go meet the federal government of Nigeria to say time don't reach for us. If we want borrow money to solve this issue once and for all, may we borrow money to solve them. That they get the time to borrow money to put for their pockets. But borrow the money to solve the issue when they say if they affect lives and properties, they no will ever get the idea. You see? How to borrow to do good, they not get the idea. But how to borrow to consume, give the senators, buy bulletproof cars for themselves, marry wives, go for vacation for Dubai and every other luxuries for themselves, equip their wardrobes. They get the idea. But to solve the issues of Nigerians, when they say they'll take oath for office for, the idea not there with them. All right. I'll leave una to share una opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line of this broadcast here. We'll see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.